let's get going, y'all. Welcome to Hardcore Enduro, where it's all about getting out and riding hard stuff. I'm George, the guy behind the bars and the voice behind the mic. And we're up in Midpines today. We got a fun hard enduro style creek ride through here, led by Kyle up there, and then followed by Ashton. Met these folks a couple weeks ago, and they're crazy like me, and they love doing this hard enduro style, slow going, trailblazing, slipping and sliding, huffing and puffing and cursing style of riding, y'all, because that's what hard enduro is all about. Riding this hard stuff.
Oh, she's gonna like this stuff.
Yeah, Trixie loves this kind of stuff right here. All through this overgrown trail. Now, I gotta say, if you guys gotta come up here and try this trail out, be prepared. There is a buttload of poison oak here. There's more poison oak on this trail than I've ever seen on any trail I've ever been on. And you're gonna get it because I got it. It's on my left arm and my left knee right now, and we'll see where else it pops up.
Woo!
Yeah.
Good.
They excited about this ride. It's hard to find guys that like this kind of stuff, and these two crazy guys do, and that's just fun. Anyways, we're gonna go through this creek for a ways. We're gonna get out of it for a bit and then come drop back into it. And there's several obstacles. You got all these rock pools, of course, that are hiding the rocks and the depth of it. Well, Kyle gets to see the clear water. I get the muddy water being in the rear here.
Oh.
Ash is down. He's already wanting to jump in the water and test it out. It's probably hot already. That's the best part about creek riding is when you get hot, you can just jump in the water and cool off right away. Alright, don't do what he did. So I went a little bit to the right. This creek has all these little ledges you gotta get over, and it is slicker than snot right here. These black rocks, just the way that the water level is, there's a bunch of algae and other slippery stuff all on the surface of the rock, and when you get to it, the tires have almost zero traction. It's almost like walking on ice. Like right here, this black rock, it is like ice. And I have a VX40 in the front with the soft moose, and then I'm trying out a new setup, y'all, with the rear tire, which I really liked. It's my normal drilled out noose, and then I've shaved off about a ½ inch from the outer rim of the moose itself. So it's got this flat spot, and I used a hot knife. I'll have to show you guys how I'm doing this hot knife setup. Looks like this. So it's getting a lot of traction, except in this slippery, snotty, algae covered rock, I mean, no tires getting traction. You'd be spinning it. It's like ice. You're not gonna get traction there, and it's all about momentum. And when you come into these slippery rocks, you're not carrying momentum, you're just gonna stop and get no traction. Now Ashton, he's running a M5B, which is an IRC. It's a giant knob tire, and it does fantastic for loamy soils. It's great for, it's slick. It's great for hill climbs. But as far as slippery, rocky creeks, it is not the best tire. Ashton, he's not the tallest guy either. He's doing the dog leg each side here. I was watching him, so as you watch other riders, you know, most of the time I ride solo, so it's fun being in a group, and you can see everyone else's technique, and I'm always learning. You know, every time I ride, I want to learn to become a better rider. But as I'm watching him with his legs going outside to side, I'm thinking, all right, stay in control. Try to keep one foot on the peg, whether it's your left side or right side. But even the pros, you'll see it all the time. They get a hard, rocky, slippery section. You know, they're helping, dabbing left and right, walking the bike through, because their bike's slipping and sliding all around. The only guy that really doesn't do that is Graham Jarvis. That guy is just a master of balance. He's next level when it comes to balance on his bike. But when it comes to slippery sections, you know, you're gonna walk with your legs down, but if you can't keep a foot on the peg, and so that's what I'm trying to do, a left foot or right foot on the peg at all times. Only one that's really nasty or the back end's just super squirrely is I'm putting both feet down. It's tough though, because that back tire, I mean, she's slipping and sliding all over the place. guys saw the Hawaiian hard enduro, there was a lot of creek riding through that Hawaiian hard enduro. And I think it's Kuela Huddy there. He won it. And you watch him going the creek, like his legs are, he's like running on his bike. His legs going left and right. Bike's bouncing all around. So, you know, you got to do what you got to do. But in my mind, I'm thinking, you know, try to keep one leg on the peg at all times. Coming up, we got a kind of a deep pool here with a right-hand turn. Ashton gets up, and then he rolls back a little bit and falls down into the hole. That's a pretty big hole to be in. He's going to have a hell of a time getting out of here, too, especially with that M5B. But he's got to rock back a little bit. He's just got to give it a little send. There, he goes back a little bit more. There he goes, pops it over. And I'm like, all right, let's pivot over right here, and we're screwed around it. Sometimes, instead of going through...
Instead of fighting it the whole time?
These little pools, you can ride high. I remember seeing Tristan Hart do this on the Donner Hard Enduro 2 years ago. There's a creek section that Donner throws in there, and he just stayed high on the bank of the creek and kind of skirted all the slippery rocks. So that's what I did right here, and it works out pretty good. Little ledge to get over, weight the outside peg, which is the left peg, and she climbed really good. That rear tire setup, I'm telling you, I really like it. If you guys haven't tried that out, try shaving that moose. If you drill it out, plus do a shave off the top, give it a flat top, and it just adds extra traction, especially on this little ledgy stuff. It just, that tire wraps around those rocks. Now, like I said, the slippery stuff, I mean, I don't know if the pros, I think it's just a riding technique of carrying over momentum over slippery rocks. So here's another deep pool. Kyle went to the right, Ashton went left. No Trixie here, she's gonna go straight up the middle. It's like a draw play. I skirted the last pool and I don't want to skirt it this time. I find myself in the same scenario Ashton was in. So I gotta rock the bike back, push back, and she climbed on up. Low branch here to see if the bag hits. Bag always hits every time. That bag is really full right now. You know why? Because I got a cash can in there. Yeah! If you guys are new to the channel, you don't know, and if you guys are returning, you probably do know. So I'm hiding cash cans now in every ride. Usually some peak or someplace awesome to get to. And today's ride, we're going to Sweetwater Point. I'm gonna hide the cash can up there. And I got some little goodies, a little sign-in book for y'all. That was a hidden tree right there, 2 of them. Watch out for all the deadfall. They had a fire up here about 2 years ago. And so you got all these dead trees, which, you know, next 2 or 3 years, all these dead trees are gonna start falling over. And riding up here is probably gonna be really difficult, as there are some fallen trees now, but you know, most of them are still standing. But I imagine they'll be falling soon. Back into the poison oak. I mean, back down into the creek. It all looks like poison oak to me now. Now that I know I got it, I'm like, oh, it was everywhere. And I did my best to avoid it. Poison oak, if you don't know, it's kind of looks like everything that you're looking at. It's really a shiny leaf. It's got 3 leaves. It shines. Now, it doesn't have thorns, which there's blackberry bushes here in the left and right. That's blackberry. They also have, blackberries have 3 leaves, but it's got thorns on it. And not as shiny. That poison oak is oily shiny. Kyle leading the way there. He cuts down trees for the power company, so he's a pro blazing a trail here. He's doing all the work. He gets the clear water, but he's got all the work of knocking down all these little twigs and branches. Now, he's from this area, so he's actually, probably was him blazing this trail here. Here's a nice big, recently fallen tree. Still got green leaves on it. A little tricky obstacle here.
Big log to get over.
Good training, y'all. This is what I'm talking about.
There you go. Break that off for me.
Working on it.
So last year in Donner, they had a elevated log crossing that was really tough. And so this is all good training for that, you know. My plan here, my strategy here is to get this bike far up as I can, pop her up in a 12 o'clock wheelie here, and walk her up as much as I can so that when I drop her down, that aluminum skid plate, it's a little grabby, it gets some traction, it'll grab, and then I can just push her on over. I ain't a pro, y'all. Pro would just hop right over that. So this is how my amateur brain thinks. So there we go, get it up in that, see how that walked forward? Get all that weight back in that rear tire, and she climbed as high as I'm gonna get. And now I gotta pivot over left. Now there's a branch that's caught in the left shroud there, and it snaps. You'll hear it, boom.
Oh, man, that almost got the...
That's the old family jewel getter right
Yeah, that was a close one,
That's
y'all.
like a spring
Man,
trap.
I was almost gonna be peeing blood right now, but my inner thigh. Whew, it snapped. It was like a mousetrap snap. All right, here's
Yeah, there
Ashton
you go.
going through.
Straight on up. Oh, it's wedged in there. There you go. Yeah.
Now, he didn't quite go as high as I did. Everyone's got their own technique, but that's how I did there. We got another one, almost the same situation here, but it's the opposite side. So Kyle, you can see how high that elevated little log is right there. It's over the tire. There's a drop off to the right there, back down to the creek.
Come on.
So we do all the duo with the team up drag right there. He muscles it over like a stud, and then I come for a little stabilization assist. He's running that Michelin Extreme gummy tire. Really good tire. A lot of the top pros run that. I'm gonna have a little different strategy here.
Pivot. Like that.
I like it.
He likes it. All right, let's do it now. I almost dumped the bike over though, right here. I almost lose my balance to the right. Right here. Yeah, and then I saved it. That's a save, y'all. So Trixie here, she's just gonna mow this
There we go.
poison
Now
oak
pivot.
slash blackberry, whatever this is in front of me. She's gonna mow it down a little bit. Same thing, I'm gonna run it as high up as I can. And I'm gonna catch that foot peg on the log. And I've seen Graham Jarvis do this. When you do a pivot here, and especially a really big log or that like this, it's not a big log, but it's elevated, so it's high. If you can catch that foot peg during the pivot,
Look way
that,
easier. It's on the
yeah,
foot
it acts like a spike.
It's the old Graham Jarvis tip. Pivot. He pivots, catches the foot peg on the log, and then uses that foot peg.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day, don't you? Except he makes it look super easy, and I make it look complicated as hell. All right, let's pull out of the way up here, and let's see Ashton do it. He does a little bit different. Doesn't get up quite as high, of course, and then he's got the two-stroke there, so he's got that big-ass exhaust
A
pipe.
little bit higher, yep.
So, but you want to get it up. So he does not catch the foot peg, you can see there. And when you don't catch that foot peg acts like an anchor, whereas you see the bike drop down again. If you catch it on that foot peg, it doesn't allow that bike to drop down. It's stuck, and then it's just easier to push the bike on over. But we teamed up, got her done. Back to riding, y'all. All right, here's a black slippery rock. I needed to carry momentum, more speed, but I'm creeping along here. And I get zero traction, and the front end slides out.
One.
Take the first
This is
fall
so
of the day.
slippery.
It is so slippery. My boots are sliding. Like, I can barely stand right here.
I mean, I can't.
It's like, it feels like ice. You ever walked out onto
It's
an
like
ice
ice.
rink? That's what it feels like right now. So I'm like, shoot, how did I get out of here? So I'm gonna do a couple 511 specials here. That gets you. You know, if you're in a jam and you just need to go a couple inches at a time, try that out. That 511 special will work for you. You get your weight back over the rear seat, you know, over the rear fender even, and then you throw your weight forward, your hips. But it's really on the hips. You thrust those hips forward, and your body weight then assists with throwing the weight of the bike forward. You dropping the clutch, all controlled at the same time, and it'll move the bike. Even with zero traction right there, the bike still went forward. So it does work. All right, we got to go up and left. There's a big fallen tree right here. There's some jagged rocks, though, hidden by all this poison oak. That's got to be poison oak right there. Little baby ones. Anyways, got a fallen log crossing right here, and then got another one right ahead of me. On just a little bit of a struggle bus right here. Kyle went through real easy. Come on, Trixie. Get over this tree. It's just a little log right there. Just, come on. The tire I'm running's at IRC's IX09. It is used. I've already had a couple rides on it, and I flipped her. So I just, all the worn off knobs, I just flipped her around. So it's got that front fresh edge. They're not deep, so they really, those knobs have a ton of flex in them. So I don't know if that's helping or hurting. That really, the knobs are just super flexing on me. Here's a really big obstacle, probably the hardest obstacle of the day. You got this kind of double log fallen tree in the creek, really high up. Gonna use that technique I use is pop her up in a wheelie about 12 o'clock, get as far forward as I can here. So even more, just really pop her up there and let her walk her way as close as I can. And then I use that skid plate to grab and I push. And I almost had it. I think if I would have jumped forward, my weight would have carried her over that log. But I kind of was walking her back and forth just to get a couple more inches. But I decided, let's be safer about it and do the old bike drag. Always got to change that GoPro battery. Ashton, he's got his own channel, Grizzly Moto. So check that out. It really helps, you know, through YouTube. It really has expanded the world of off-road riding, especially the hard enduro style of off-road riding. You know, I was talking to Kyle about this. Some guys, you know, they want their secret trails and secret spots. And so I asked him if I could film this, and he's like, yeah, no problem. And, you know, back in the 90s, I think when bikes actually started getting good was in the 90s. But we used to go trail riding, and you'd never know where to go. You had no idea where to go. You had somebody that knew of a place, and you'd go there, and everyone kind of had their own turf. Whereas now through YouTube and social media, you can find all kinds of amazing trails to go on. I think it's fantastic. It grows the sport, and it grows where you can ride. So I'm all for it. Come on, Trixie, get over this log. Gotta rock the bike back a little bit further. There we go. She's over. So that was a tough section right there. You had to get over that big double log, go into that branch, make a left pivot, go up, make a right pivot. There's another little ledge. There's a rock ledge right outside the water there, on the opposite side of the bank. And I don't pop the front end. I don't come in with enough rock back. I need to be pulling Trixie up to a wheelie there. Anyways, get the old 511 going there. She's up and over. Back in slides out.
I saved it. That didn't count.
Yes, but she didn't drive. Handlebars didn't touch the ground. I think that doesn't, you know, as long as the handlebars don't touch the ground, that's not a layover. It's not a dump. Now, coming up ahead, there's another rock pool. Now, Kyle went to the far left, and I'm going to go right. So right there, he went left, and I go right. And it's really deep right there. And I was like, oh, do I flip around? I just watched Battle of the Goats, and there was a pool just like this with more of a wall that Tristan Art and Cody Webb both went straight to the deep end of the pool. And everyone else skirted around here, but got up, did a whole bunch of 511s there, and I was able to get up and over. But that spot reminded me, I'm like, should I just turn around? All right, here's a little bit of an obstacle here too. It's a really steep climb out there, and just seeing the black rock, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be another slippery one. So I just need to get that rear tire up out of the water where it's dry, because I know it'll be grippy when it gets dry. So just carry the momentum, get up to the dry rock. So there we go. That is high enough. That's probably poison oak on the left-hand side right there. I'm thinking it is. Really narrow gap right here. Got to split the gap here. Gonna pull Trixie all the way up to this really 12 o'clock wheelie, pivot over, and drop her down. Yeah. Look at that precision. I'm like a doctor. Except the front end slides down on me. I gotta pick her up again. There we go. There's Ashton going through now.
Whoa! Perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. That's
Good.
where you want to
Pivot
get
over,
that
you're
rear
good.
tire onto that dry rock, and then you got traction. All right, here comes Ashton through. So he just made it through that tight squeeze. Up and going again. Watch Kyle. And then he'd be a king at the limbo right there. Look at that. He gets through, doesn't catch the bag. I'm telling you, he's the king at that. I go through, and guess what? I'm gonna catch that bag. You know what? You know what's happening. I'm trying hard. Look, I'm looking down. That just reminds me. I'm looking down my pants there. I always forget something. Every ride, see the back cotton. Every ride, it's something. So this time, I had my pants that I get through Canvas MX. I get them all customized, and I really like ride with them. If you like custom gear, go to Canvas MX and design your own stuff. That's what I do, anyways. Anyways, got some tears in the backside. I took them to the local tailor there in town for 20 bucks. They stitched them up for me, and they said come by after 5 o'clock on a Friday. This rides on Sundays. They said come back after 5 on Friday and pick up your pants. And so, oh man, that's where I got the poison oak. I bet that's where it was right there. I don't know if that, I don't think that was poison oak actually. It was a little too light. Poison oak right now is a little bit darker in color and just, it's ultra shiny. Because it's all oily, glistening, it glistens. So I just got my marine camis on me, it's my desert digital ones. Got the whole homeless veteran look going on right now. Got some facial hair, got my hair all long right now, and I always wear my fatigues on me. My wife, all my friends, I got this homeless look, the homeless veteran look. That's why I'm going for right now. Alright, we're coming almost to the end of the creek right here, and then we're gonna, that hill straight ahead of us, we're gonna climb up that hill. I was looking on the map, and you can go right, and there's a right little single track trail that goes up to Sweetwater Point where I put the cash can. So maybe next time I'll hit that up. I don't know if Kyle knows that. I ride with my Onyx off-road app on my phone right there, my handlebar bag. I'm telling you, I keep promoting my handlebar bag. I really want to get a hardcore enduro bag. It's gonna be the hardcore enduro handlebar bag. It'll have a much better name than that. I call it Trixie, the Trixie bag or something like that. Get your Trixie bag on the handlebars. That's what it'll be. Anyway, so I scour the X off-road map, even Google Earth, because Google Earth just has a little bit better detail, and it really helps me out when I trail ride and seeing other trails and seeing other routes. I love using it. We're gonna climb up here. Ooh, little fallen deadfall. I gotta watch out in this tall grass, little shrub stuff. There's a bunch of these dead fallen trees that can make you OTB. We're meeting up with Kyle's son, Junior, and then another buddy of theirs, Eddie. So they're gonna join us on the ride, and then we're gonna hop back down in the creek and get after that hard enduro training, y'all. I was talking to him, you know, single track, a lot of guys love single track. I love single track, right? It's great, but as far as a hard enduro race the single track really doesn't help you on the hard enduro race. Hard enduro race is about the obstacles, and it is obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, and each race is kind of different, you know, but you got to find hard obstacles to train on and hit. You can't just hit the fast, flowy single track every single time you ride. I mean, if you don't race hard enduro, for sure, hit it up. And it's a little bit of reward, especially, you know, you get overheated on this hard stuff, so it's nice having a little flow to it and get some airflow, cool yourself down. But I was telling them, you gotta find the hard stuff, and sometimes if you're not really used to that, it doesn't look fun, and I understand that completely. But once you get into it, your skill level gets to a point, I think, where you can start.
Oh, you're thinking.
Yeah, he was thinking about that. Me too, looking left there. Don't avoid the obstacles. You gotta hit every obstacle you can, because when it comes to race day, as far as hard enduro, it just helps you out. Bunch of deadfall here, so we're having to zigzag around the trees here. There we go. Place the front tire up, going downhill. Smacked right in the face by that branch back there. This is kind of fun right here because everyone's picking a different line. See, Kyle's the far left there, getting over that log. Ashton, he's going right and around there, breaking through the branches here. I'm just gonna go straight through the middle right here. I was thinking this branch would just snap off, you know, look pretty dead, pretty dry. But she grabs. She just stops me in the track right there, boom. It's my left radiator shroud right there. Anyways, get through. That's fine. I like trail riding like this where you got different options. I think Moab Hard Enduro was great. It's a little bit wider course, and you had so many different options to go through. Whereas we got Silver Kings coming up in 2 weeks. And what I remember about that, 2 years ago, there was a lot of single track, and that was one of my big complaints about Silver Kings, was just a little bit too much single track. Whereas, especially the bottleneck areas or the harder hill climb areas, I mean, maybe it's my bad. You got to pick different lines, and there just wasn't a lot of different lines. They passes or keep the race alive, keep it going. You know, I remember being stuck in a lot of bottlenecks. So hopefully they've changed that for this year, or it made the course a little bit different, or added maybe 2 lines or 3 cut lines into the harder sections. So we'll see how that goes. I'm excited about it. Anyways, we linked up with Eddie and Junior there. Junior's right ahead of me, and then I think Eddie's in front of him. So this is now, we're still in that same creek that we were going through. We dropped back into it. There was a section we went around climbing up that hill that Kyle was saying that he's got halfway through it, and there was just
Ashton's got that M5B.
Yeah, the M5B not helping him out there, but Kyle was saying that midsection just was a little bit too many fallen trees in there, and it's just a little too difficult at the moment. So it might be cleared up in the future. Here's a little pool off to the right. Everyone's hugging this high line to the left, skirting it. But since no one's gone through the water, I can see. And I'm like, all right, that doesn't look too deep. I see the black rock, and I know it's slick. But here's a chance for a pass. All right, up and over. Get the passing, Junior. Yeah, take that, Junior. He plays football, if you remember from the last video. Junior's a big football player there. So his stamina is probably 10 times what my stamina is. Plus he's young, and I'm old. Alright, through this little pool, up this little climb right here. To be young again, man, I wish, like the young guys, the next generation of hard enduro riders, they really got it made. Because the bikes are better now than ever before. The trail riding, the practice, you're able to get better now than I ever got growing up. When I was growing up, just a lot of track, you know, just a lot of motocross track. You had trail rides, but like I said, you never knew where to go. So it was always a gamble of where to go, or you're just kind of repetitive and where you went to the same areas all the time. And you didn't have Rich teaching you how to ride your bike, you know, the RC tire guy. Like my riding would suck if he didn't have his channel and I wasn't like watching his every video. If you guys haven't seen Rich Larson, the RC tire guy, his channel. Go check him out because he does some of the greatest how-to videos, technique videos that you're gonna find on the internet. I mean, he's just phenomenal. And that's where I get the 511 special. That's his race number. So he's taught me everything I've known about riding so far. Well, him and Graham Jarvis, Manny Ledbeckler, Billy Bolt, and pretty much everyone else that's better than me. But he really has phenomenal videos of how to do technical maneuvers on your bike and what you should do, you know, as an amateur, what you should be thinking about and how you should be practicing your everyday rides. So go check him out there. It's really good. Nice, fast, flowy stuff through here. Yeah, look at Eddie. He's up on the pegs, looking good. Oh, a little dab there. See how he keeps one foot on the peg, doing a little dab? That's kind of how you want to ride. That does. Oh, here's the wife. The wife's calling me. I gotta take this call. Hold on. All right, we got Mexican. We got invited to a Mexican dinner tonight, but we got food in the crock pot. The crock pot, it takes priority over the Mexican food, which margarita sounds really good right now. But I'm 2 whiskeys into this ride. Yeah, buddy, we're at the halfway point. I think that's when I'm gonna start dropping my whiskey drops. It's that almost a halfway point of the video. Got that Black Bull that I'm still been working on here. It's a 21-year-old Black Bull Scotch. And she's smooth, powerful, but smooth. All right, Eddie's got held up there by a little fallen log. I'm gonna make a hard enduro pass. Pivot to the right here, kind of trailblaze. I got my own fallen log to get over, but Trixie, she's a bulldozer. She eats this stuff for breakfast, y'all. She's not scared to snap a couple twigs here and there, you know. Boom, get the pass on Eddie, yeah. And then there's a huge fallen tree right in front of me. I can see Ashton, he's leading the way. He did the same thing, he got to that point. I was like, oh, well, hell no. So he did a pivot there. I'm pulling Ashton's 2 hidden logs right there, so gotta watch out as you come through here. This high brush hides all these fallen trees. Let's get back down to the creek. We're almost done with the creek, so we'll be headed up and to the left, and then starting this little bit of a climb up to Sweetwater Point. There's a fallen tree right here, hidden in the grass. We're not combed up, so I can't point it out. But Junior's coming. I say that go take a right, go high. Well, Junior doesn't see that.
There's a log.
He darts right into it. See, if we're on calms, I highly recommend, if you got a group, like, get calmed up, especially if you're gonna ride with buddies all the time. You can point this stuff out. You know, I don't want anyone to get injured, but it just speeds up the ride. I think it's safer, and then it's more fun because you can kind of trash talk each other the whole ride and make jokes all the time. It's really just, it's a win-win. Big pool to the right. It's a little deep. And I can see down in the water. It looks like it's full of algae and everything. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be a slicker in hell. So to stay high, take this high line and stay above the water. We'll use this poison oak on my left to keep me supported here. I think that's all poison oak right there on my left, man. I haven't washed off Trixie yet. I need to get some hot water, some hot soapy water to wash Trixie off. She's probably covered in poison oak oil. Get on through, they're all waiting for me. Yeah, I'm taking the hard line, baby. Giving them a rest. Now I cut through here, there's another fallen tree. As I climb up this bank, I need to be carrying speed with me. I should just hop over. It's not a big log, but I take a bad angle. I don't carry speed, and essentially like a 1 foot high log is now a 2 foot high log because it's at a ascent. And it's a little tricky here. So I catch a foot peg. Now I'm gonna have to do the push. Pushing your bike over a log is like the most taxing thing on your body. It really takes a lot of effort. But I didn't fight with it too long. At some point you gotta pick your battle. No, like it's gonna take me longer to try to technique my way over this obstacle, or I can just get off and push. Which, don't be afraid. Yeah, it's going to cost you, but don't be afraid to push your bike up an obstacle. The pros do it all the time. Tristan Hart does it all the time. Manny Landbeckler does it all the time. You just got to pick your battle. Know when you're like, it's going to cost me too much time to kind of technique, you know what I'm saying? Use technique to get over an obstacle. Unless you're Graham Jarvis, that he's just a master. I love watching his old footage stuff, and you watch other people's videos when they got him in a clip. He's just a master about getting over obstacles. All right, so now we're doing this climb. It's not too high of an elevation climb. It's not too steep. It's an old service road that's got a bunch of deadfall through it, so we got to zig and zag our way through, which is kind of fun because you're making up the trail as you go. And I like this style of riding. Now, I don't always need a clear path. Sometimes it's fun creating your own path. Ooh, I missed the opportunity right there. So I'm looking back. I should have came into that log right there and did a little pivot hop over the log. That would have been good practice right there. Sometimes you come up to a log like that. It's about a foot high. And you come into, I don't know, not a 45, but you get close to it. And you just do a little pivot turn with a little hop over the log. That would have been good practice. Missed it. Don't get stabbed. Some of these fallen trees come out of nowhere. You go by them like, oh man, that almost like a joust just would have speared me right in the chest. So most of this climb's gonna be like this. There is an easier way to get up to Sweetwater Point. There's a jeep trail called the Stairway, which is the chicken way of getting up there. If you don't want to do all this hard enduro poison oak style riding, you can just head on up to the Stairway, and that'll take you kind of a straight shot. Oh, thank you, Trixie. She's not the classiest of gals, but you know, you hold a branch for her, and she's gonna take it. She say thank you. Up is up. All right, got a dead tree, and high center here. I get stuck on my super grabby skid plate. I almost OTB right there. Needed to be in a bigger wheelie. When in doubt, wheelie out. You know, you gotta just pull back on those handlebars and let that back tire hit, not your skid plate. Get some air flowing. Yeah, it feels good. It wasn't too hot today. It was a nice riding day. There was some dust. It wasn't dusty. 2 weeks ago, it was like zero dust, really wet conditions. Today it did have some dust on, especially in the faster part of the tracks here. Being in the back of the pack, oh man, there was some dust. It was nice being out in the lead here. Watch this little sneaky line through here. Got this broken off stump. And then to the right to the right of it. See that stick sticking up, broken off stick? I'm gonna pivot. It goes right between the handlebar and my arm right there. Yeah, oh my God, I thought it was gonna stab me right in the neck. I got lucky on that one. Oh, now I gotta blaze my way over there. Come on, Trixie. Slow down these dead branches. I need like that plow that trains have in front of their engines there to kick the cows off the tracks. That's what Trixie needs, a little plow right in the front. Oh, I missed that little log right there. Anyway, got to catch up with these guys. Don't want them waiting for me too much. Kyle pointing the way there. Still got to get up to this peak. It's actually a false peak, then you're gonna ride on over to Sweetwater Peak. The trail you get up to, I think I said this already, is called the Stairway Trail, and it's a designated jeep trail. But we're taking this harder line going up there, of course. There are several routes to go up there. This is just the way Kyle showed us, but I did look on the map, and there are some other single tracks going up there. Clears out a little bit, and I'll get some flow going, get some air going, you know. Wasn't too hot today, a really nice day to ride. Had some dry conditions though, and it does get dustier up at this top part. Back in the creek, you don't got the dust to worry about. It's got all the water, slippery rocks, but up here now it dries out. You got the dust to deal with, and you got the tall grass. You got the tall grass and the dust. they're hiding any little potential fallen logs or these little water cutouts or water breaks as I call them, on the steep hillsides here that they prevent the water from just forming a big rut and washing everything out. Nice steady climb going on up here. Now off to the right in the horizon right there, that's Sweetwater Point. That's where we're going for the cash can. Nice little log crossing right here. Yeah. Oh, that was a good one right there. Hit that perfect. Just light touch, not a heavy touch on the front tire there, and just wheelied right over. Felt good. Top of Sweetwater though, it's only 4,600 feet, so not the tallest peak by far, but there is a sweet view of the valley up there. I guess you can come here at night, you'd see all the city lights. Kyle was telling me his dad called that area 5 cities, because when you got up there, there's 5 towns you can see. Yeah, a little bit of dust hanging on the trail there. Zigging, zagging through here. It's a nice steady climb, not too steep, but I don't want to lose momentum. Just zigging, zagging, brushing the manzanita. Manzanita, man, that's stiff stuff. I've ripped my radiator hose off before from a manzanita branch, so I have an extra hose on top of my radiator hose just for that purpose. So we get up here, this is that stairway Jeep trail. So if you didn't want to fight the creek and cover yourself in poison oak, you could just take a Jeep road up to this road to get over here. But where's the fun of that? You gotta go the hard way, you gotta earn it, you know what I'm saying? It's a little relief though. I like rides like this where it's a little bit different terrain the whole ride. Now I love the hard stuff, don't get me wrong, but getting some airflow down the neck feels really good too. And then I love these trails where there's a vista or a point to go to. It just makes trail riding awesome. You know, if you go to the track, you just get to do circles, you hit jumps all day, but you're doing like 30 circles hitting jumps. Whereas here, you get to ride to a destination. It's like an adventure, you know, and I really love trail riding. I like finding new areas to ride to and just a new point of interest to go hit up. So that's what we're doing here. As soon as I get to the top, Kyle, he took off. He's going fast. I got that really soft tire set up, and she doesn't handle so well on this high speed stuff. It's a little rolly. During the slow technical ride, I don't notice it whatsoever. But on high speeds, especially in the flat ground on high speeds, I do notice a lot of roll with the bike. So, you know, it's a trade-off. You want maximum traction through the slow stuff, you're gonna have to give up some traction through the fast stuff, I think. All right, we're here. Look at the view, y'all. This is beautiful. All right, gotta get out the can. Yeah, look at that beautiful can right there. Gotta sign the book. It's official there. Yeah. Look at that slogan, George, the guy behind the bars. Yeah, buddy. All right, shouldn't be too hard to find. There's a little rock formation just down from the top a little bit. That looks like a nice, good spot right there.
Oop, don't need to be that close, I guess.
I was thinking, I hope there's not a little rattlesnake in here that's gonna bite me. Yeah, get that can down. Throw some rocks on there, Georgie. Look at that. Just rearrange those rocks. They didn't even do nothing. Oh, they fell to grab a big rock. Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
There it is.
All right. Cash cans in the books. There it is. Sweetwater cash can. Got some goodies in there. Now we're off. Next point we're going to is Hite Cove. It's an old mining town down on the South Fork of the Merced River. And some really cool single track going down there. Nothing too crazy hard. You do ride some mountain bike trail with some mountain bikers set up with some jumps and stuff like that. So it has a nice little flow to it. Like I said, nothing too hard. There are a couple of jumps though. There is one jump that's a little bit of a send off. And I didn't hit it, and I feel regrets because Eddie did it, and he did it, made it look so dang easy. It is a little intimidating coming up to, but we'll just save it for the next time. How about that? So it's fun. This little single track kind of skirts the Jeep road, and we're going over, like I said, to the start of this downhill. Oh, stay on the trail though. These guys, why am I the only one getting kicked off the trail? These guys all riding like champs down there. I'm gonna cheat though. I'm gonna straighten this sucker out. Yeah. They don't need to avoid these little dead trees. Just go right on over them. I'm going to the start of this downhill that goes down to the South Fork of the Merced River. It is a Jeep trail, so you can get a lot of speed. It's flat, but it is crumbly rock, marbly. It's be easy to slide out. I'll say it that way. So just watch your speed going down the main Jeep road, because you don't want to go over the side. It's a dang cliff. Look at Eddie. Hey, riding a wheelie. I can't do a wheelie. I don't have the balls, I guess. It takes a lot of practice riding wheelies to have confidence to be able to just hit it on the go. Slow wheelies. I try to work my slow wheelie all the time, but doing a fast wheelie, I just don't do it. That forest fire is pretty big. I mean, it covered a bunch of hilltops here, several thousands and thousands of acres. I forget the name of that fire. I remember it being on the news. It was, they get pretty big ones out here. Hey, little jump right there. We're on the mountain bike trail. So those mountain bikers, they like to add in some jumps, which is all fun. They come out of nowhere sometimes though. They each have a little bypass, but they are little steep little ramps. And you just gotta be prepared for them, I guess. Because they can pop out of nowhere, especially with some of the overgrown grass. Start this little downhill. Oh, almost tuck the front end down. Be careful there. There is coming up, so I'm gonna get in a rut. Oh, you missed that jump there, buddy. Gotta hit them all. Can't be scared. You can't let the mountain bikers have all these jumps put in and you don't take advantage. Those mountain bikers are crazy though. I've seen them on their downhills and they're pretty fearless. They're hauling balls. I don't know how they keep their bike. I know the bikes are lighter, but man, they really go for it. And of course, they don't wear any padding whatsoever. You always see them that's just like bare elbows, t-shirt. Whereas I'm like fully padded up because I know I'm going down. Which, speaking of going down, I am going to go down here in a little bit. My front tire gets stuck in a rut. You see there's a little bit of a rut forming here. The ground's a little softer here, so when that water comes, it forms a little rut. And here it is, coming up. Front tire gets stuck in it. I lean to the left. I can't turn left. Ride her down. Didn't get hurt though. It's always nice when you fall and it doesn't hurt. After every time you crash, you always gotta get your groove back, you know, your confidence gets shaken a little bit. And I think that had something to do with me not hitting this send-off. It's about a 20-foot gap you had to clear, but it's really easy to watch. When you see Eddie do it, you're like, oh, you chicken, you know, how come you didn't do that, Georgie? But I just fell down, and I didn't feel like there was a need. Plus, Ashton was down there. Here it is right there, straight ahead of me. It's a pretty big launch. Ashton's sitting there. He's waiting for everyone to send it. So I get off, I walk the bike down like a sissy. You can see
you're all clear.
that's a pretty big gap right there, but look how easy it is.
Oh, Oh, that's not bad.
All right now.
Nah, he makes it look easy.
It is. It was easy.
Kind of want to do it now.
I know, right?
But I don't. On with the show. Still go downhill, got a bunch of switchbacks. And Eddie, who just made that jump look like nothing, he's gonna pull what I did, and he's gonna wash his front end out as well. I just get it off camera, but if you look at him ahead of me there, he's gonna go down. So he nosed over, he's down. It's all good though.
You all right?
He's good. Really fun trail to ride right here. Up the mountain bikers don't get angry that dirt bike guys are riding the trail. Going down, I mean, that doesn't hurt. If they're going up, maybe you're making big ruts, that pisses them off, but going down doesn't disturb it. I know by Bass Lake, there's another downhill section that says dirt bikes and bikes can hit it. It's got a sign, down only though, so they don't want any dirt bikers going up or across, head-on traffic going up. So if you're ever into an area where they have mountain bikers, they only go downhill, so just be aware of that. Here's a pretty big jump coming up here. I hit this one. Yeah, got that one. Go around this dead fallen tree, and we're gonna get out of this single track into back on the road here, and we're gonna jump down to a little creek crossing, and there's two flat boards that Junior on a previous ride lost his balance, went off the side of the board, and it's a vertical wall there on the opposite side of the bank. He just plowed right into it, went over the bars. So here's Junior making it cleanly across this time. All eyes are on him. Then we're gonna jump back down into another little creek here. Tell this creek riding is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this ride today. I paid for it though. I got the poison oak on me. Nice little dead tree to jump over there. I like those little foot tall dead trees to get riding over. We need something big though. We need like a 3-footer. Something that really makes you try hard to get over that log, Didn't have any of those on this trail today. I wish it did. That'd be a nice big old fallen log there. Like a 3-foot diameter one where you really gotta do a double flip or something like that to get on over it. And that would have been really sweet. Now I just changed out the fork seal. When I changed out the fork seal, the little fork guard down there, I forgot to bolt it back in. And I always forget something. So I forgot my jersey pants, and I forgot to screw in my little fork seal down there. And I don't have the spare bolts. I thought I had my little spare bolt bag in my backpack, but I didn't have it. So I do take some zip ties, and I zip tie that fork guard back on there. And it worked good enough. It lasted the rest of the ride. I didn't catch these guys' names, but if they're watching the video, it was a pleasure meeting you guys out here. Hope you had a great rest of the ride. Everyone got back in one piece. It's always fun meeting people on the trail, and seeing when they're fun and how they ride. You never know when you're going to meet them next time. So we took a rest there. Now we're back at it. There is a service road. We're on our way to Hite Cove there, that old mining town that's right on that south fork of the Merced River. You can take a service road all the way there. Those folks we just met, they had I think a 690. They had a couple adventure bikes, which is pretty cool, Not that I don't want to get one. It's just I think you got to do a lot of modifications to them before you can ride this kind of stuff. Speaking of that, if you've seen Cody Webb's newest video, he just got his Tanneray 700, and it looks pretty sweet. It's all totally stock, and he just, he picked it up from the dealer. So we'll see what Cody Webb can do with that Tanneray. If you guys know who Paul Terrace is, he's like the biggest sponsor for Yamaha on the 700. He does all the hard enduros on that 700. And the guy in the video is saying he's dropped off probably 100 pounds of weight off the bike. And then Paul Terrace, he's phenomenal. He's like a Graham Jarvis as himself. And what he's able to do is just amazing. I mean, he enters Erzberg on it. He does all the hard enduros on that Tanneray. So it's inspiring a lot of amateurs to get these big adventure bikes. I don't think they know how much he's modified it to get it really rideable for a hard enduro, maybe in a hard single track, you know. I think out the door stock adventure bikes really are made for Jeep trails. I don't think you'd run in any kind of hard single track or any just, I mean, especially hard enduro. There are guys that do that, and you know, my hat's off to them. They're a glutton for punishment, which I am too. I like the hard stuff. Just throw it at me, you know. Maybe that's what I need. Just something harder. Trixie here, she makes it easy for me sometimes. So everyone says you get on that 300 two-stroke and it's even easier. So, you know, I'm actually looking forward to getting the two-stroke here and seeing how I do. I put in the time on Trixie here, and it's time to move on and try something new. This trail's flowing along. These guys are movers and shakers. I'm like almost a race mode here, trying to keep up with them. I'm telling you guys, I'm not the fastest on single track. I like slow going hard stuff where you got to really put some effort into getting over an obstacle. This fast switchback kind of single track, I guess I'd be better at it. I just need to do it more. I just ride solo all the time, and so I just don't really push my pace when I'm riding solo, you know. I am able to keep up though. I'm holding my own. This is good for me. Good for Trixie here. I think this trail is also another mountain bike trail. We are going up it though. Just warning, coming down this stuff. So here's a little mountain bike jump right there. And then I remember there's another one at the top up here. These guys all avoided it, and I'm like, hey, don't avoid this obstacle. You gotta hit it. It's coming up right here. So they all go around, they skirt around it. But there you go. It's even got a little kicker right there. And I was like, hell no, let's get this. This is hardcore enduro. And then you see my feet come off the pegs on the log. I was so disappointed watching this video. I was like, oh man, keep your feet on the pegs. What are you doing, George? You do that every time. It's a habit I got. It's a bad habit of crossing logs and taking my feet off the pegs. Keep them on there. Look at this pivot turn. Oh, a little much for you there, Georgie. That was a complete 180 though. I'm still gonna count it because I didn't let go of the handlebars and the bars didn't hit the ground. Gotta watch out here. This is some clear cut here, and there's a bunch of these water breaks in the grass. Of course, you're crossing it through the Jeep road here. You see, loggers have been up here cutting down this deadfall, and they've cut all these little water breaks in here. Trail goes on for quite a bit, and then you're gonna hit down the road here. This is Hite Cove
Black Diamond
road. It is open, and it is a black diamond. It's open to Jeeps and side-by-sides and bikes. But it's a narrow road. And this is where I was saying it's a little crumbly, and it has a severe drop-off to the right there, down to the canyon, down all the way down to the river there. So you're kind of coming in with some speed. Just watch yourself coming into these. There's a couple sharp turns. And if you're hauling butt coming into these turns, you can easily overshoot it and not be able to brake in time. So find your own pace. There's no cash money at the end of this ride right now. You just want to get down in one piece. The river down there, beautiful little campsite area. You could jump in the water. It was a fast current going by, but just a really beautiful spot. Look at that cliff coming up there. We go around that rock. I'm telling you folks, that is sheer cliff to the right. Don't lose your balance.
Whoa.
Don't whiskey throttle.
Look at that.
You've seen that guy riding in that rocky area in Colorado where he goes over the side, drops down like 100 feet. Don't be that guy. Anyways, y'all, we're coming to the end of the video here. Thanks again to Kyle and Ashton for kind of bringing me up to their home turf in the Sierras here. Great ride. You guys head up this way, brave the poison oak. Get your name signed in the books at the cash can at Sweetwater Point. Look at Ashton here. He's going to pop a wheelie through the mud. He almost loses control and flies off into the river for a quick swim. Yeah, we sold it. And if you haven't already, head on over to hardcoreenduro.com. Get yourself some merch and look good. The next time you show up at a race, you'll be in style, baby. Till the next video comes out, get out and ride and get some. Ew.